Welcome back to the channel. We're playing 20 questions with
Andrew Longmire. I'm probably your least credentialed guest ever on your show. I'm not a content creator or I don't work for a fountain pen store. I just like fountain pens, and I probably post too much on the Canadian Fountain Pen Enthusiats Facebook group. And that's how I saw the invite to come on this. So thanks so much for having me.
well, the rules have only always been that you can't be an asshole on the internet and that you have to love pens. So you fit
There we
those
go.
qualifications. It's pretty easy to get on this show.
Pretty straightforward.
Let's get into the questions.
Yeah.
When I say fountain pen, what pen do you think of?
Pilot Custom 823.
How did you get into pens?
So I had like a cheap fountain pen in high school because I thought it was edgy years ago, and then that's like long gone and kind of forgot about them. And then a couple years ago, one of my coworkers was using fountain pens, and I saw he actually had some disposable ones, what I now know to be the like the Pilot V pens or Pilot Varsities.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, those are cool. So I ordered some online, and I was like, oh, I'll start using these again. And I guess someone saw me using them because then next thing I know, someone was giving me a gift. They gifted me a platinum Blazer with a nice journal and tried it out a bit, but I had only ever used cartridges because that's all I thought existed nowadays in modern fountain pens. And then I guess I ordered some cartridges for the pen, and that affected my Instagram algorithm. And next thing I knew, I had this video come up, and it was like a macro video of someone filling what I now know to be a vacuum filler pen. And I was like, whoa, what is this? You can fill with ink bottles, and what is this mechanism? So it led me down a rabbit hole of looking up like pistons and converters and vacuums. And as soon as I could, I went to my closest fountain pen store, which is Fountain Pens in Cambridge, Ontario. So shout out to them. They're awesome. And I grabbed Twisby Eco and a converter for my Platinum and some Platinum Carbon Black and a Diamine Oxblood. And I was hooked from there. So
I haven't been to Fountain yet, but it is on my list.
they're so nice. And there's an awesome coffee shop right next door. They're so friendly. Yeah.
We're not in Cambridge all that often.
No, me neither. It was like a 2-hour drive. It's not like I went around the corner. It was like I need to get somewhere. This place looks close.
Well, honestly, I keep going to Atlas, and Atlas is like 9 hours away.
Yeah.
One way.
Yes.
So your first pen was a Varsity, and then you got an Eco and a Platinum.
Yeah, so my first one, I did some research with the help of people on Facebook and figured out the one that I had in high school was a Parker Reflex. I got it at Staples. Yeah, a blue Parker Reflex. I basically tried to describe what I remembered, and people on the Facebook group like sent me all the catalogs from like the early 2000s, and I was able to figure it out. Parker Reflex.
Gotta love the Canadian Fountain Pen Facebook group.
Amazing group. Yeah.
They're like weird little ninjas.
They will find stuff I'm like, how did you know this? I don't know. But
oh yeah.
Great.
No, I see things there on the daily that I'm like, okay, sure.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
It is. What's your current daily driver?
I cycle through a few. Right now, it's a Twisby Diamond 580 ALR, the navy one I got for Christmas. And the reason I'm using this one a lot is it's my first custom grind.
Okay.
So I had a nib that was a little bit scratchy, and I ended up sending it away to Salmon at the Toronto Pen Company and got a medium turned into a cursive italic. And it's just so cool. I love it so much. It just adds that little pop of character. It's like not a huge crazy variation, but enough to just like, especially when you're writing cursive, it just looks like you've tried a lot harder than you actually have.
Custom stuff is fun. I have plans for October.
No doubt.
What's your favorite ink?
I think probably Robert Oster Toffee is what I've used the most.
Okay.
But then after watching your show a bunch, like I recently got a sample of Tasha Sabamadori, and that everyone's right. Like that ink is nutso. It's so cool. I love how it goes down one color, dries another, then you get that sheen. It's so cool. So it's going to be a bottle purchase at some point.
I saw a bottle of it at Atlas, and I went, I need to remember to pick that up on my way out, and I didn't buy it.
Yeah, I'm gonna be scooping one up from Penablers at some point the next time I
Ooh,
do a shipping order. Yeah.
yeah. I need to do a Penabler shipping order.
hmm
What's your favorite brand?
I think probably Diamine would be my
Okay.
where my head goes. I think just I've never had a bad Diamine ink. I like that they have a couple different size variations. I love what they're doing with InkFen, even though I've never gotten one. I just think it's a cool idea. Um, and I think like by staying in their lane, so to speak, like keeping to inks, I think they've just done like a really good job with it, and it's affordable too. I mean, you can get an 80 ml bottle for like $20 or less. It's
Yep.
crazy. So
Vintage or modern?
modern, just because I haven't tried vintage yet, and I'm terrified to try because I don't like it. Just always seems beyond my skill level. So
I think almost all my vintages from Facebook Marketplace.
yeah, that'll be that Facebook group again. Like there,
Yeah.
some experts on there will definitely help someday, but
But
haven't pulled
no,
the trigger
no,
yet.
like from people that had no idea what they'd picked up at estate sales and were selling
Oh
it for
yeah,
like $5 and a lot of ballpoint pens.
yeah. I've almost gotten one of the like desk pens. Like I saw a Schaefer desk pen the other day, and I was like, that'd be cool to pick up.
Yeah,
Not yet.
not yet. Do you swatch all your inks?
Yes, I do. I have one of those like Cullo ring things, not the dippers, but
Oh,
the
the big ones.
yeah, big ones. I'll do like a cotton swab and then also do a writing sample with a dip pen and some stuff.
Okay.
And then I just finally got my first notebook with oh, mind blank. Sorry. Tomoe River paper. And
Okay.
so I'm slowly working through my collection in that as well. So
Are there any pens that always got the same color of ink, or do you always switch it up?
so far I've switched it up. I feel like my ink collection's grown a lot faster than my pen collection. And so it's I don't think I've I think only once have I ever done two fills in the same color in a row, and I've never, yeah, haven't done any go backs yet.
All right. Do you have your writing samples of nibs in a way you can flip through them, or do you just know how every pen writes?
I didn't. Pardon me. So I recently started at the back of that Tomoe River notebook. Anytime I fill a pen, I have a page now for each pen. And so when I fill it, I do an example more so to see the ink with the nib.
Yeah.
But then apart from that, like I don't have a ton of pens. I think I have like 8. So I just mostly know how they write and what nibs are in them. But I've started doing that for future reference.
What's a pen you wish you could see in person?
The Montegrappa Frankenstein pen. Like, I don't even care about Frankenstein lore. That's not really my thing. That pen is insane. It is so crazy with like the layers of brass and the gears and it's like look it up if you haven't seen it. It is yeah, mind blowing.
I saw it in person at Atlas,
Uh,
and
yeah,
it is so insane. The first time I saw it was on Vanessa's live stream. She did
yeah.
one at Dromgoals a couple months ago, and that's the first time I saw it. And then as soon as we walked into Atlas, they had one sitting in one of their front towers, and it is just an insane pen.
It
I
doesn't even
don't
look like it would be good to like comfortable to write
know.
with, like at
It
all. But just
doesn't.
the detail work, I've shown it to so many people who don't even care at all about fountain pens. Where I'm like, oh yeah, they can get. You think like $100 is bad? This one's like 10 grand American, and look at it.
Yeah, yeah. No, there were some really cool Monte Grappa limited editions that Atlas had.
They're
Ooh,
doing wild stuff out there.
they
Yeah,
are doing Monte Grappa is doing some wild stuff.
yeah.
What's your current Grail?
Way less expensive and less exciting is Pilot Custom A23, specifically like the clear demonstrator with the
Oh, okay,
signature nib.
yeah.
Which I will say was a cooler Grail when it was a Japan exclusive, which it was for me. And then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, North America," and I'm like, oh, "That's cool." Um, as well as the Sailor Pro Gear Slim First Snow limited edition. I'm a sucker for snowflake art stuff, and that pen is really cute. So
I believe that's currently in the Sailor crazy sale.
I think it is. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of stuff in my inbox.
I think it's already out of stock at Gold Spot.
Yeah,
I
probably. So
I think Atlas had a couple this morning when I was on there, but
yeah,
I think other than that, it's pretty much
yeah.
gone.
So that's why I'm
Uh,
keeping it as a Grail. Like I know different people have different definitions of Grail. For me,
yeah,
Grail is like someday I could actually realistically acquire this,
yeah,
not a completely out of my realm. So
same.
um yeah,
For a long time, my Grail was a $28 pen because it was
sure.
a limited edition pen from, I think it was 2021, and I just couldn't find it anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of pens on my list of like, ooh, in an ideal world, I get a custom Urushi or something like that. But yeah, realistically, that's probably more my someday price point if I get enough people who want to pool together to get me a nice gift or something.
Yes. What pen would you recommend to a beginner?
Yeah, I think like it depends on how beginner, right? So like if it's someone who's never touched a fountain pen, like grab one of the Pilot Varsity, the Pilot V pens, like the disposables, just to see what it feels like. Or like a platinum preppy. I just got my 4-year-old just got a platinum preppy for her birthday. She was asking for a pen just like daddy's, so got her one of those. But yeah, platinum placer also like same nib as the preppy, but looks a little nicer if it's like an adult. I think that'd be a great starting choice.
All right. What ink would you recommend to a beginner?
Yeah, probably your most common answer, I think, but like anything by Diamine, anything by Robert Oster. But Diamine Oxblood was my first, and I think it's one of the top selling like red shades or inks period for a reason. Like it's just such a solid performer. Doesn't have a lot of cool like ink qualities, but it's just a great ink.
Yeah, I think Diamond and Waterman, I think, are the two most named.
Yeah, Serenity Blue. Yeah, which I've never actually touched. I
I
don't have a
I've
single Waterman name. Yeah.
I've never touched Serenity Blue either, but it's one of those things that it's come up on occasion. There are products that come up so many times in this series that I go, well, now I have to buy it.
Am I wrong that I don't have this yet?
Or now I have to acquire this somehow
Yes. Yeah.
because I
Somehow.
need to understand.
Yes. What is so good about this blue? I don't get it.
Yeah, yeah. Because like the Twisby Eco kept coming up in my Chicago Pen Show ones, and I didn't
Mhm.
own an Eco, and then I bought an Eco on the very last day because it had come up in like 7 of the 11 episodes I'd filmed, and I went,
Yeah.
okay, well, I guess we're going home with a Twisby.
Well, it's funny. So what my intro with Twisby is I was getting into like urban sketching a little bit, and everyone was talking about the Eco, and then I found an article comparing the Eco and the 580,
Okay.
and someone was basically like, yeah, like they're basically the same kind of thing, like just a little bit of difference. But I mean, the easeability or usability, I guess, of the 580 being able to like take off the section really easily and clean it is like a game changer with comparison to the Eco. Eco's a great pen, don't get me wrong, but I think for a beginner to toss them into an Eco where they have to like plunge in, plunge out with the piston over and over to clean anything out, like I probably wouldn't send someone down that
No,
road first,
I
personally, but
I hate cleaning my Eco. I've adopted the Hemingway Jones approach, which is it never gets cleaned.
sure. I mean, you can technically take the section out, but I find it's really easy for them to not get seated in properly if you do that. And I think just over time, it's not going to be good for it. So
Yeah,
whatever. So my eco now is basically just filled with carbon black, and I use it for sketching on the rare occasion that I do that still. So
fair. What advice would you have for somebody wanting to try out fountain pens who might be a bit intimidated by them?
yeah, just try it. I think that's like the easy answer. Just get one and try it. Uh, don't be intimidated by try and do a little bit of research. Maybe like find a paper that's not just going to bleed everywhere, but or like anything like that. But yeah, just try it out.
All right. What filling mechanism do you think is most interesting, regardless of if you actually like to use it or not?
Yeah, it's that vacuum, the vacuum filler from that video I saw. I still don't own a vacuum. Probably get a VAC 700R at some point, and hopefully that 823 someday. But I think it's fascinating. I will just watch videos. I think it's so cool.
Oh yeah. No, I finally acquired a back pen at the sidewalk sale. I got one of the Navaler original pluses, and
It's so cool. Yeah,
they
such a
are
great.
so much fun.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
They are. What nib size do you prefer to write with?
I think probably medium is my safe bet. I haven't tried like a big juicy broad yet. I do have a stub which I'll use for certain things, but obviously it's limited in what you can use it for. So I think I'd really like to try a broad still, but yeah, I think I love a medium because you can use it in most scenarios without it being aggressively large, but you can still see those ink properties and some nice shading and stuff. So
Well, you can buy replacement nibs for the Twisbies, can't you? I think so.
yes, you can for the
Yeah,
580. Yes. So
yeah,
actually, I do. I have an extra fine and a medium cursive now.
yeah,
But yeah, maybe someday I'll just get a broad for it too. So,
yeah. That's what I've
but then I
done.
might as well just get another 580.
Yeah, that's what I've done with Waco Sports. I've got a whole bunch of spare nibs for custom grinds.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, I think honestly someday I'll get a VAC 700R with it broad just because I think that'd be sweet. So
Is there a style of nib you love or find interesting but would never actually use?
yeah, I think the architects look really cool, and I'd love to try one sometime. I don't know how much I'd use it. Maybe I would. Maybe I'd be surprised by it.
Yeah.
And I would say the same with flex nibs. Like I love watching flex nib videos, but I've yet to have one or try one, and I don't think I'd have the patience for it. I think it would be the same as kind of like my stub. Like I use it on occasion for like signing an envelope or signing a couple things really fancy like, but
Yeah.
in terms of like daily writing, I just don't think it's practical. But I think they're really cool. Like vintage flex looks unbelievable, and even like the new what is it, like the Magna Carta 600
Yeah.
Meg 600 looks really cool, but yeah, probably not super practical for me, especially to spend that much money on it. So
I would say I use vintage flex more than I use modern flex.
yeah, I
And
mean that's
even
what
then,
everyone's
like
going for.
by day 3 or 4 of writing with a flex nib, I've given up on flexing it, and I'm just
Yeah,
like,
you're just writing with it anyways, and you're like, okay, cool. I know I can flex it, but I'm not going to.
yeah, well, you just have to think more. And
hmm
sometimes I don't
Yep.
want to think
No,
while I
not at
write.
all. No.
Do you always use the same paper? If so, what paper? If not, what paper's your favorite?
Yeah, for like daily writing, I have like a lined Rhodia pad. I buy a bunch of them. I have like the little notepad. I have the A4. I use that for like for work, for writing and stuff all the time. And then I've been experimenting. Yeah, so I have some Tomei River. I have some Midori MD, a couple little notebooks and stuff. But I'd love to someday like try one of those. Like I know a couple different shops like Wonder Pens, I think, and Penablers have like the pack of assorted Japanese papers
Oh,
to
yeah.
test out, like the samplers, which are way more money to buy it that like it's not cost effective at all. But I'd love to just try that someday rather than buying a bunch of random notebooks. So, but yes, Rhodia for my like day to day use, it's my go to for sure.
Right. What's your least favorite ink/ink color family?
Anything that looks like it came out of a ballpoint. That's my answer for that.
My people.
Like it's just not. I can get there's great roller balls and ballpoints out there, and I love my carbon black for what it's intended for, which is to have
Yeah.
like a nice permanent black. But if especially like the blues that look like a blue ballpoint, I'm like, what's the point? Like I want people to be able to look at my page and be like, whoa, you didn't write that with a regular pen. What are you doing? And I can be like, ha, fountain pens. So
Deep ballpoint blue. Why?
yeah,
Why do so many companies make Pilot's got like 4 blues that are all ballpoint blues in the
yeah,
Iroshizuku line that all look the same.
yeah.
I don't
If
care if
I'm
you
going
think they look different, they don't.
No, no. If I'm going blue, I'm going something like I like going into the turquoise realm or the teal or even just a nice lighter like medium blue.
Yeah.
Is
I
great. But
go I go dusty blue, so Dusk and Bloom from Ferrisville
mm,
Press or
yeah,
Storied Blue, but I'm also like Sailor Mano inks.
yeah,
I
yeah. I just got what is it? Let's see how much. I always forget the number. Sailor 143, I think, is
Okay.
the blue that has like the light pink chroma shade in it, and I have that in a stub right now, and it looks so cool when you like write on an envelope or with it for a card. Um, and it's a cool blue as well. I also doesn't look like a
Yeah.
ballpoint ink at all. So
No.
yeah,
I've got one black ink. It's waterproof. Other than that, it's like
hmm is
I
what it
don't
is.
yeah.
They have a
Well,
purpose. I get why people use them and why they like them, but thankfully, I'm in a environment where I can switch up my colors all the time, and I do. So
same. I think I might have a gray pen inked up right now. Right. But
yeah, also
other
different, not in
other
a
than
ballpoint.
exactly, that's not in a ballpoint. Other than that though, like everything is a fun color.
Yeah, totally.
What's the point otherwise?
Yeah, it's fun.
So, thanks for playing 20 questions.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.